Hey guys, welcome back to Cyber Coaching with me, your cyber coach Lee Reed from thekeeper.co.uk. Today we're on part 3 of stretching and yoga. Now I brought this young gent in to join me with my yoga today. If you've got a pet at home, why not give it a try with them? But of course, it's that time of the stretching and yoga where we hand you over to our legend that is Heather Wright.
Hello, my name is Heather and welcome to another bit of bite-sized yoga for Lee Reed, your cyber coach at thekeeper.co.uk. So this is the second installment of opening up the hips. We did earlier a standing hip opener sequence, and now we're going to go sort of a mid-level opener sequence, a bit on the floor but a bit up. So we're going to start in downward dog, which is what we did in the first session of bite-sized yoga, and it was part of the warm-up, so the sun salutation. So I'm going to pop myself into downward dog, which is basically just an upside down V. My hands and feet are either in the same line, like train tracks, or you can draw your feet together so they touch, or you can have them just a little bit apart. If your lower back is tight, or your legs are tight, your hamstrings, lift your heels, bend your knees, and flick your tailbone up to the sky. The key to downward dog is having a nice long spine. That's the first bit. So we are working our hips in this pose, but it's a good pose to transition into other poses. While you're here, just stretch the mat away with your feet and your hands, lifting up your tailbone the whole time. I'm going to lengthen my right leg up to the sky, and then I'm going to step it in between my hands. Now here, you'll either need a blanket or a pillow. You're going to pop it underneath your back knee. I'm going to use some yoga pads that I've got. I call them lily pads. And I'm going to relax my foot down. And then I'm going to lift up. So again, my front knee should be over my ankle, my back hip should be over my knee, and my lower leg should be right in line. What I'm going to do is try to think about evening out my hips. So I have to lengthen in my right waist and lengthen that hip down. I'm going to pull the hip back as the knee goes forward, and I drive my tailbone forward and under. So it's going to look a little bit like this. In this posture, if you can, you're going to lengthen your arms up and then rotate, lengthen them down. Pressing your hands the whole way, keeping them active like they're moving through treacle. What you want to keep thinking about is drawing your inside thighs together. So my right thigh is pulling in, my left thigh is also pulling in, like a pair of scissors. And you should really feel the work, particularly in your left hip flexor, but also in the base of your right pelvis. From here, I'm going to place my hands on either side of my right foot. I'm going to curl my back foot, the toes under, and then lift up the knee. This is called Ayanasana or low lunge. You can also do a high version. So here I'm really stretching out that hip flexor as well, and I've got a deep groove in my opposite hip joint. So this is also warming up the legs. I'm going to keep pressure on the front heel, pressing it down and also pressing the hip down. I'm going to stay there for a few breaths. Then I'm going to lower the knee back down, uncurl the foot, place the left hand down so it mimics the right foot. I'm going to sweep my right arm up towards the sky and look at it. So I'm opening up my spine. So I'm getting a hip stretch, and I'm also getting a twist of the spine and an opening of the shoulder. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, exhale, pop that hand down, curl your foot under, lift your knee, and step right back into that downward dog pose. Taking a couple of breaths here, I'm going to move my lily pad to the other side. Please move your blanket or your towel or your pillow. And then lengthen the other leg up. That, by the way, is called three-legged dog. Step the foot forward, pop the knee down, and lift up. So again, evening the hips, pressing down in the foot, couple couple of breaths up and down using the arms. So you're working the shoulder joints, you're opening up the top of the spine. I'm going to do one more. And remember, when you breathe, always when you're opening up the body, it's an inhale. When you're closing the body, it's an exhale. I'm going to place my hands on either side of the foot, curl my toe under and lift up. If you want to make this harder and get your legs a little bit more activated, so it's a more active stretch, you release the hands. Again, you're thinking about the scissoring of the thighs. So my inside thighs are trying to pull together, they're trying to close like scissors. And you can really feel that work in your hips. You can release the arms, you can lengthen them to the side, in front of you, or behind. I'm going to place my hands back down and sweep open into a twist. I'm still pulling that hip down and back. And breathing. And then I'm going to release the hand down. I'm just going to come out of the pose for a moment and back into downward dog. Again, you're also working the hip joint here. I'm going to lift up my right leg, and this time I'm going to step it to the outside of my right hand. I'm going to place my lily pad where my knee is and uncurl the knee. This pose is called lizard.
So how did you guys find that one? For your cyber picture today, you've got to write hashtag yoga. That's hashtag yoga. Now, whilst we have our little bit of relaxation and Zolly has his little fishes, just want to again say thank you to Heather Wright for everything she does. And guys, we shall see you back here with another stretching and yoga next week. See you guys soon.